Welcome to another video. We'll start off like with any other good YouTube video. Bust up a pallet. Now I get my old D-nailer out, shoot these nails out. This must be how fancy people pull their pallets apart. Now I get all the bits of wood gathered together. Didn't break too many. Set up a fence on the rip saw so I can rip off the uneven edges. Try to re-mill it. Just set up some clamps before the glue. It's just a cross-linking PVA. Give it a bit of a squeeze up and then wait for it to dry. Give it a bit of a level sand. I don't want to make it perfectly flat, I just want to make it smooth. Followed with a bit of orbital action. Made quite a bit of a mess, as you can see. I ended up gluing up 2 pieces there. I just didn't know how much I'd need, so just making up a template for the actual bellows itself. But this was done with just by folding a bit of card in half. Cut this out, makes it symmetrical. Managed to get both templates on the one board.
You're too big to fit in here.
Now I just cut the thing in half with my little Recipro. Just making sure I stay away from my lines. I'll get close to it, but I'll finish it up on the belt sander. Just stick on some double-sided tape, try to hold them pieces together so I can put them on the belt sander and get them all profile. It didn't end up holding up very well, it moved on me, so I had to put some screws in some old nail holes to hold it together. Just there, so screw at the front and one at the back. I'll just mark out where I want to put the hinge. So just marking out where I need to make a cut. Just marking out the hole location, the nozzle. Just going to mark out for some bevels. And before I end up grinding the bevels off, I thought I'd drill out the hole. I'll just step it up to the size I need slowly by slowly. Hopefully I don't tear the wood out. So I found this old gas fitting to use as a nozzle. Now I'll just slowly creep up to the lines. Separate these and then I'll run the top part through the bandsaw. I just thought I would bore out the opening to this hole. I'll just put a carbide burr on a drill. I don't know if it's going to make a difference or not, but I kind of figure for airflow it might, maybe, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it needs it, but I'm gonna sand a bit of a relief on the back of that. Now I'm going to mark out the back for the air intake holes. I thought if I fold the template in half, I can get symmetrical marks and transfer them onto the back. And that way they'll be even. Thought I'd drill halfway and then flip it and come in from the other side just to save any tear out when I get all the way through. And I don't know if it needs 2 holes, but I figured 2 holes are always better than 1. I'll put a bit of sealer on the inside. I'm not sure what this is going to do, but in my mind I kind of figured I wanted a flat, smooth surface for the leather diaphragm to seal against. Now that's all dry, I'll just try to rub a template out to see how big of a flap I need to make. test fit the template, make sure it works, and then cut it out with some leather. Now with the leather flaps cut out, I just got to fix them in place. I decided to glue the back edge and help it stay with some staples, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that's enough. Now I'll just glue my nose cone in place. Just insert the screws for the hinges, just so it holds until the glue sets. Now that the glue's all set up, I've installed the hinge, put the top on, and now I'm trying to figure out how to attach the canvas for the bag. This was the fiddliest job I've ever done. It took ages to try to figure out. There must be some sort of easier way, but I couldn't see. I fumbled my way through it. My thought process was the glue should hold the canvas to the wood as long as I don't allow for any air leaks. So I just tried to fold it over and make it as neat as possible. So I just kept fumbling with it until it sort of resembled what I was hoping to achieve. Then once I get to the hinge, I've got to make a cover for the hinge so any air doesn't leak past the joint there. These staples that I'm putting in there only just to hold the fabric until the glue dries, and then I'll use decorative tacks around the edges, just I guess for looks later. Once I've gone round the whole lot, I've just got to terminate it by just trying to fold over it and bunch up any excess at the corners there. I've got a feeling I might have left myself a little bit short in material there. It would have been nice to have a little bit longer, but that's when I ran out of memory card. But here's the I'm going to make the little cover for the hinges. My plan for this little cover was, well, I didn't have one, but what I thought was if I just tried to cover it with only enough material that wouldn't interfere with the opening and closing, but it was just enough that it would stop any air coming out. So I thought if I sealed one side first, glued it all in, I can just try to see what I needed to do for the top side. So just seeing where it would fold over, I probably should have allowed myself a little bit more to get a nice little fold over seam there, but it was enough to have it turned over and glued in nicely. Luckily, with the other side, I cut it way too short. Couldn't fold anything over, so I just used a bit of the glue as a bit of a seam sealer and prayed that it would work. As it turned out, it was alright. Probably didn't need to worry as much, but yeah, nothing like spending hours doing something and realising you've cut it too short. I'm just using tape to make a template of the shape of the nose cone. I want to make a brass cover for it to make it look real pretty. I figured this would be the easiest way to sort of make a template if I just got all the shapes and angles and stuff with a bit of tape and transferred it onto the brass eventually, so I could cut it out and hopefully it would get everything all accurate. This was one of those jobs that was fiddlier than I thought, but it probably in the long run saved me a fair bit of time and material mucking around, going back and forth. The idea I had was to make two separate pieces, and then when they all fold over together they sort of interlock each other in. It was a good idea in theory, but it was hard to sort of visualise and figure it out. The templates helped heaps, being able to get the folds right and the shape right, but you'll see anyway. There's just a lot of marking and cutting and back and forth and checking and marking and cutting, but once I eventually get it all cut out, folded and interlocked, you can see what the idea I'm going for. So in theory, if I can fold the paper around nice and neat like that, I should be able to fold a sheet of brass. Should. In theory. I should. So I'll just roughly hack out the shapes and then I'll clean them up with the grinder. I've got an old scroll saw that I've never had a use for, so I'm like I want to try that on the delicate areas. You could probably tell by the way that it is. Yeah, I won't be able to try to cut that out. It's jumping around all over the place. But as using it for a rest, so I could use my jeweler saw, I finally found a use for the scroll saw, so that's good. So just using my belt grinder to creep up to the lines and get it all squared away. Once all the profiles are dialed in, I can then start putting the bends in, getting it to fit. You're just using it as like a bit of a hammer form, just to tidy up any of the bends and make sure they're all in the right spot. Now just got to try to figure out a way I can weave in this other piece. I've got to file out enough room for clearance of the other piece that's going to go over and interlock with this. There's a bit of back and forth and filing and fitting, but I eventually got there. I finally got it to sort of sit where I want it to sit. Now I can fold over the edges and like lock it into place. Didn't come up like perfect, but it come up better than I thought. I don't know why, but I decided to solder in the top. Turns out brass is a really good heat conductor. With the two bits soldered together, I'll just clean up the excess blobs. Try to make it look a bit pretty. The final bit of tweaking the fitment, I'll seal underneath it. Now that's all done and dry, I'll start putting in the pins. The pins I got were like a bronze finish, but it wasn't a very durable finish on it. I scuffed it all up with a bit of Scotch-Brite. It sort of matched the colour pretty well.
And, ooh, looks like a loose nail.
Yeah, 1 out of 25 ain't bad.
Just use a little wire wheel on this thing just to soften up the transition in the hard to reach places. And then I thought if I give it a light polish, it might sort of blend it in. I didn't want a mirror finish, but I sort of wanted it to sort of just blend all in together, take out the tool marks sort of thing. Just going to find centre and mark out for the hole for the nozzle. Just use my Christmas tree bit to get the right size hole. This was the nozzle that I originally was going to use. Get it, yeah. But I found this. I think this will match a lot better up. That is, it'll match gooder up. The hole I drilled turned out it was pretty good size for the thread. I don't know if it cut a thread or if I've just cross-threaded it, but you know they say cross-threading's nature's Loctite. There's some speculation out there about whether or not this process is a waste of time, you know, because the tip doesn't count, but I figure without a tip things are pretty pointless.
Look at that. Would you look at this? Oh, would you look at this? Would you look at that?
Now it's time to remove all my staples and start adding the upholstery tacks. Pretty straightforward to just measure out where I want it and just keep it all even. I'm just working out where the pin is to the edge of the tack, just so I don't put it in the wrong spot and have it hang over the edge. So far in this build I've had a heap of fun. I've enjoyed doing this so far. If you've enjoyed watching it, please consider subscribing and sharing with your friends. That would help out heaps. through the magic of editing, we have a finished bellows. Here you can see the valves working. I don't know how many CFM of air it moves, but it's at least 10 candle power. We'll give it a bit of a real life test, see how it can feed the air to a fire. If you like the look of this fire pit, I've got a video on my channel. I'll put a link in the description to me building it. It did actually work. I mean, it's not as good as a cordless blower, but I think it was more fun to make than a cordless blower. Well, if you got this far, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. See you on the next build.